Looking now, getting into some of our football reports, the Colac District now, and then having a look at Golden Rivers, and then Riverina and Farrer in New South Wales. So just some of the leagues that we cover off here each week in our first hour, and then before we get into some of the leagues across Victoria and New South Wales, which we have our correspondents join us for. So let's have a look now at what happens in Colac and District. At the moment, the premiership table has South on top. They've had the one loss, that's 5-1. Alvey likewise 5-1. Illawarra at 4-2. Birregurra 3-2 and a draw. That draw against Illawarra, so they're 4-2 and a draw. And Lorne at 3-3. Apollo Bay 3-3. Colac Imperials 3-3. Simpson, the big surprise. I thought they might be higher up, but they're at 2-3. And then Western Eagles 1-5. Otway yet to open their account. Interestingly, Otway having the same problem in their reserves, but I did notice in their 18-year-old bracket that the Otway Districts and the Western Eagles, two of the lower clubs in the seniors, they're actually doing pretty well in about the 5th and 6th place in that 18-year-old competition. So maybe some good players coming through for the future to bolster their ranks and give them some hope to get them off the bottom of those ladders where they currently are in senior football. Let's have a look at last week's action, and in the results, it was a very, very good week in the end for the boys from Alvey. They continue to play some terrific football, and they came out in their match and they won 15-7-97 to South Colac 10-9-69. It was the upset probably of the season thus far. South were on their home deck. They were undefeated. Now Alvey join them on equal premiership points. Apollo Bay took on Illawarra, and down at the Bay, it ended up being Illawarra having more scoring shots and seemed to be able to get more of the possession and probably with a better side. They were 11-21-87 to beat Apollo Bay 11-68, a 19-point margin, and it was exactly that. 19 points that were kicked more by Illawarra than Apollo Bay to win that match. Illawarra had Flanagan with 3, and he was their best player along with Beckett and Dexter, whilst Lawson with 5 and Zaparenkov with 3, and Karras and McSparran were the better players for the Hawks on the day. Other matches being played in Colac District, and we saw a great performance here by the Western Eagles, 7-7-49, beating Otway 6-6-42. It was a match of the two bottom sides. In the end, the Eagles get the points, but Otway, they didn't go without a fight. They were 4-4 to 4-3 leading the match to the half-time break. And then in the second half, the Eagles just able to get 3-2 and win the match. It was the difference between the sides. I thought Van Dongen with his 4 goals. And how about that? Reid, Thompson and West in the better players. Van Dongen not named. 4 goals out of 7 wins the match for the side, and gee, they don't pick the forwards and the best players. Ryan with 2 for Otway. Coots, Trotter and Robertson played well in a good match. Actually, between the two sides, it was great because they have been the sides that have been, I guess, the lesser of the competition in many years, and they played out a good match through the grades in reserves, 18s and 14.5s on the day. Simpson 8-13-61 went down to Colac Imperials 13-11-89. Where is Simpson? 1 minute you think the Tigers could be a finalist. Next minute you think Colac Imperials could be a finalist. Imperials in the third quarter kicked 5-1 to set up this win and go away with a 4-3 last quarter and take the points from the Tigers. It was McKay with 5 and Henke with 4, and Travascus, McKay and O'Shaughnessy the better players for Colac. While it was Harding with 3, the Whopper, and 2 from Salmon. De Jong, Salmon and Poole played okay for the dairy farmers up the hill. And finally, it was a great game between Birregurra and Lorne. Went right down to the wire. Lorne went down in the end on their home deck to Birregurra 9-2, 56 to 7-11, 53. The accurate kicking gets you the points, and it happens quite often. And at Stribling reserved the visitors, the Saints, with Morfoot and Green and Rowan all booting 2, were too accurate. And that means better football. Burnett was their best player. Holmer with 4 was the leading player. And again, he booted 4 goals here out of 7 for the Lorne club, and he didn't get in the best players. I'm going to call it again and again. They all come running for the big forwards when they want to win a premiership, but gee, when it comes to the votes, they don't seem to get the very just desserts, in my opinion. Anyway, let's go to round 7 action. The games, Alvey and the Western Eagles. A win last week will give the encouragement the Eagles would like, but Alvey's win over the top side will give them the encouragement to win big at their home deck on the hill. Hill. Birregurra and South, this is the match of the round. South falling last week and over at Birregurra. Gee, this could be a Saints opportunity. I just think South will bounce back with their forward line and be too good. Otway tried hard last week against Western Eagles. This weekend they get home deck at Gellibrand. Colac Imperials are their opposition. A good chance here for Otway to maybe get some score, but I think Colac Imperials will continue their march back up the ladder. Lawn take on Apollo Bay in the Battle of the Great Ocean Road. If it ever was a battle, this is one that could see either side drop out of finals contention if they don't win, and I think Lawn should win at Stribling Reserve. And Illawarra gets Simpson in a beauty at Warrawee Recreation Reserve. I just reckon that Illawarra are playing the better football right now, and Simpson, gee, they may miss finals this year just without winning these sorts of games. I think they've got to get a win in round 7 action, but I can't see it happening. But then again, it's 21 players on 21 players in country football, and we'll see how they go. That is a look at Colac District, and it's great to be able to bring it to you on the Friday night sports show.